Doing today? Looks like we have Linda and Alejandra here. Hope y'all are doing well. Excited about the webinar. We'll just give just a minute for people to come in and then we will get started. I woke up this morning and saw snow outside the house. And it's exciting, but at the same time, I'm not sure I'm quite ready for the cold yet. All right, let me get the slide set up and we will get going here. All right. So today we're going to talk about TimeClick Mobile. We're going to talk about the setup, daily use, and benefits. Obviously, the goal of the webinar will be if you don't know anything about it, or if you're looking to get it, or having already been using TimeClick Mobile, then this webinar is basically for you, right? My job is to help you understand about our mobile app and how it benefits you and your employees. So we'll talk about what TimeClick Mobile is, what it's used for, how it helps your business and your employees, and how to set it up. So while we're still waiting a second, sorry, I might be clearing my throat through this. I got my water here. But just as we're waiting still for some people, Grant, you'll see him in chat. He's going to be helping out. He's going to be answering all the questions. There might be one or two that we'll take during the webinar. But after that, you'll have time for some questions and answers as well. We'll do a Q&A. All right. So once again, my name's Bobby. I'm here with TimeClick. As y'all probably already know us, Grant is in chat. We're going to go ahead and continue with the webinar. I hope everybody is doing well today. If y'all see any, y'all if the screen's not big enough, or y'all having any issues, let me know. I just maximized it, so hopefully everything will be of will show up appropriately. If not, you might need to increase your screen size as well. All right. So TimeClick Mobile, why have it? Why did we create TimeClick Mobile after all this time? Basically, we launched it in November last year. Around that time, COVID hit prior to that. And so we kind of wanted to help our customers, right? Just like most people, we've also went into working remote from home. Now with this webinar and with TimeClick Mobile, once again, we're here to show you what it's used for and how it's going to benefit you. People may start slowly going back to the office right now, but you still have a lot of companies that are allowing people to work remote or are making remote mandatory. Well, this TimeClick app will help out your employees and will help out your business, right? So why the need for a mobile app? It's kind of like what we talked earlier. COVID showed the world their possibilities of working remote. Companies are saving money and increasing their profit margin. Companies may only have one computer for their employees to use, right? So as an example, someone may have the one computer in the office and you don't want your employees going into that office to clock in and out, or they're at home and they need to be clocking in and out. Well, the TimeClick mobile app allows that, right? So pretty much everyone has a cell phone, and most of those phones nowadays are smartphones. Not only that, we've been getting customers all the time asking, and they still do, right? They're asking for a way to track time with cloud. And the closest that we have right now to that would be our mobile app. And just, keep in mind that this app will also help to be used for tracking specific jobs. um, and or once again people working remote. Let me give you another example, right? Say someone you have a small office and someone is sick and either even if it's a minor cold, right? And the either one, they don't have sick time, two, they still want to work, or three, you may still need them to work. Well, this allows them the ability to clock in and out so they can continue to do that. So I mentioned earlier that tracking time can be used for specific jobs, like people who work in the field. For example, you have technicians, trucking companies, cleaning services, government jobs, plumbers, virtual assistants, and just there's many more, right? Many more reasons. And these people didn't normally have a way to clock in or out with time click in the past. They had to get in a line to clock in or out. They would have to have maybe other buddy punch them in for them or whatever reason it was. Maybe they even needed a third party software to allow them to remote in to that main computer from a remote location. Well, now they don't have to worry about that. So, what is Time Click Mobile? Right? We've already talked about it a little bit, what it's for, but let me give you a little bit more information. Right? So, Time Click Mobile is our time clock app. It allows the employee to clock in or out away from the office or even on the go. It's easy to set up, it's easy to use, and it can even be used as a kiosk. Like, for example, we have some customers already using it. They use an iPad or an Android tablet, they have this app, and they just put it in the break room. And people can go in, they can tap their name, put in their password, clock in, boom, clock out, whatever they need to do, they're able to do that. Now, as you probably noticed, time most apps have requirements that you have to meet, right? We also have requirements in order time click to be able to, for you to be able to use time click mobile. The first one is it's only working for time click 2021. We don't have it set up for any older versions. Basically, it will not work with anything else other than time click 21 and any future time click versions that we have. You'll have to have a server set up first. This needs to be on at all times. Now, for those that are unfamiliar with TimeClick, a server is just your main TimeClick app that holds your database, right? So on the main computer, and that main computer needs to be, or the server needs to be on a computer device, right? You can't have the main server on a mobile device. It doesn't work that way, right? And obviously, you have to have a mobile device of some sort. Now, keep in mind, you will need a time click support plan. It doesn't matter if it's just the support plan or the unlimited support plan. This will also not work with our Prime package. Our Prime package is our single computer. Remember we mentioned earlier you need a server set up first. Well, the time click Prime is just the server. There's no other extensions, no workstations or anything like that. Which brings us into our point. You need a premium license or higher, right? So, excuse me, the premium license is the 2 to 5 license size, up to 5 time click programs or time click devices. Now, this includes computers, iPhones, Android phones, tablets, anything like that. Now, there are other device requirements. Excuse me. There are other device requirements. Just real quick, it's just like they're older versions of Android, iPhones, and iOS devices. So you may not really have to even worry about that. But there are basic requirements. So just keep that in mind. Now, the question of how do your employees benefit from TimeClick Mobile, right? So there are some examples that we mentioned earlier. We'll kind of go over again. But what if your employees don't have a computer to clock in or out with, right? There's just that one computer that's in the office that you don't want anyone else going into your office just to clock in and out. What if you don't want employees to wait in line? They can use their own phones. You don't have to have a kiosk set up, right? So this benefits them and it benefits you. It means they can get to work quicker. Employees can clock in or out from home or on the go, like we mentioned as well, right? You got a trucking company that's out. They, of course, they're on a long haul. They have to sleep in the truck overnight. They wake up the next morning. They can get on their phone. They can just clock in or out. And they can get going. Let me give you some other scenarios. Say your business doesn't own multiple computers, not just the one computer that's in the office that we mentioned. What if y'all just own one computer in general, right? Well, obviously everybody has a phone. They can download the app and use it then. We noticed that in a lot of medical industries, this seems to be the case, where the computer is just in that the boss's office, and maybe even if they were allowed in, maybe the doors were locked. Maybe the boss wasn't in that day, or maybe they called out. Maybe they were sick. Well, now no one can clock in or out, right? Let me give you another one. I've talked to a few companies now that have been pretty much farming companies, right? So they send their employees out. They're on a bus. They go to wherever the farm is from the main location, and they need a way to clock in and out. In the past, they were just using pen or paper to keep track of everything. Well, that takes a long time. Well, now what they did is that they have TimeClick on a like an iPad or an Android tablet, and they just allow people to just tap their name and then clock in or out. Some other companies, they just tap their name and clock them in or clock them out for them, and then they can just go ahead and they can get to work. Now, keep in mind at this point, they may not have data or Wi-Fi available to them. The great thing about TimeClick Mobile is you can still use it, and it will save that data. So that way, whenever you do get data or access to Wi-Fi, it all gets uploaded to the server. Now, some of you may be wondering, how can we set up and actually use TimeClick Mobile? Well, that's a great question. So let's go ahead and I'm going to share my screen here, and I'm just going to kind of show you how to set it up. Let me pull this up. Okay, so you'll see me over here. Hello, everybody. I'm going to disable my slides. All right. You should be able to see that page. Now, just to double check, you all can see it, correct? Okay. All right. So from here, now, by the way, I'm using TimeClick Mobile. TimeClick Manual. To get there, you open up TimeClick, go to Help, and you can click the manual button. So this is in there for you guys. Now, here, once you're in TimeClick, you go to the admin, and then you'll go to Preferences. Within Preferences, there's your Mobile tab. You'll have to make sure that you enable mobile features and enable that to use this service time for all mobile devices, especially if you are in a different time zone, right? So you want to make sure everything matches correct. Now, you may get a message that says you need to have a support plan if you don't already have one. If you do have one and you still see it, let us know. We just have to attach it manually for you. But you have the option, you'll put in the remote username, so whatever name you want to use, whatever your password is that you want to use. Once you've done that and you hit save, the employees can now go to TimeClick, or you can, on your mobile device and go to your app store and download it accordingly. Once it's downloaded and installed, when you open it up, you'll see this page. That's where you'll put in that username and password that we just set up, right? Once they've done that, you can hit submit. Then you'll get this question. Is this a private device or a public device? Well, a private is where when you first install it, and you'll see a bunch of your employees' name, they'll choose who they are, and then it'll give the option of just clocking in or out, right? As a matter of fact, I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to lower this and get my screen up here. And I'm going to kind of show you what it looks like on my phone. Give me 1 second. We'll get that up and going. While I'm waiting on that to start, I'm just turning on my phone. I had it off earlier. But basically, private is for a single person if they're on their personal device, whereas public would be more if you were to set it up for like a kiosk, right? So every time they open TimeClick, you'll actually see a list of names, whereas with private, you will not. And the example that I'm going to show you for the private, that's what I have mine set up. It's going to look like this. Right. So it's showing my current status is in. It shows my time. I can leave a comment, and then I can just hit clock out. Once I hit clock out, it shows my current status has changed up at the top. And the next day, I can hit clock in. Now, keep in mind, you see that there's a department section. If you have department set up or job code set up, you can select those accordingly, and then you'll just hit clock in again. Pretty simple, right? Very basic. Now, keep in mind that this cannot be used for anything else other than clocking in, out, or breaking in or out. Now, for the example that I used earlier, I'm going to open my slides again. The example that I used earlier was for my the farming company. Now, they had many different job departments and job codes set up, right? With that, they are able to Xing out of that. Okay. With that, they were able to go ahead and as they clocked out and changed locations, they can just re-clock in with a new for their new department or their project that they were working on. So, in the question of which option do you choose, if you're using your personal device, so your phone, and you're working from home, we recommend using private. If you are setting up a kiosk at work, then we recommend that you use public. Now, we have popular requests for TimeClick Mobile that have not yet been implemented, right? So right now we don't have a time frame for these, but we are considering them. The first option is geolocation. Basically, geolocation, it tells you where they're clocking in or out from. So if you want to see, are they actually at home clocking in or out? It will end up showing you. Are they clocking in and out at a grocery store? It'll show you where they're clocking in or out from on Google Maps. Now, the next option is geofencing. What geofencing is, it's kind of like an idea of geolocation, but they can't clock in or out outside of a certain parameter. So think of a fence, right? As the name geofencing. Think of a fence around your house. Once they step outside that fence, they will not be allowed to clock in or out. Once they're within that fence, they can. Another popular feature that has been requested was reporting. So that way you can see reports. You can go to the report section, download them, import them, whatever it is that you can do on our TimeClick desktop app. You can't do on the mobile app yet, but we are looking into it. Once again, it is a very popular request, probably our number one request, if I'm being honest. Other stuff that we've seen are requests for PTO options, sick time, bereavement, things like that. Now, if you have any other requests that I haven't mentioned, then feel free to add that into chat and we can put it in as a feature request for you. The last one that we have seen is for time actions. So with time actions, kind of the same thing, that kind of like where PTO is from. It's all of those, the PTO, the sick time, the vacation, to be able to allow to actually use it, not just to get approved or not get approved, right? It's just to be able to use those time actions. That has not been added yet as well. Now, are there any features that y'all can think of that I haven't mentioned? Like I said, feel free to throw them in chat if you can think of any. If you can't think of any now, that's fine. Feel free to give us a call, chat, or email us and let us know. We'll be glad to put it in for you. With that being said, we have time for our Q&A. So I do see, let's see. So chat, Amanda, you said you kept getting disconnected. Is that still an issue? I apologize. I'm just seeing that here in chat. Yeah, I don't see that you've mentioned it after. But if you are getting disconnected, we will send a video out to everyone after the webinar. It'll take a few hours to get loaded, and then it should be emailed to you. Okay, good. All right. So Amanda, Marlene, I see that Linda left. Alejandra, anybody that's still here, do you have any questions about TimeClick Mobile? Would you like, if you would like us to contact you to help set it up, we can. We'll give it about a minute or two for people. All right, that's awesome. I hope I explained it well enough to you guys. Like Grant says, feel free to post anything, comment, feedback, questions, whatever it is. Just so y'all know, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. There is a feature within TimeClick that not many people are using that I do want to make people aware of. If you do have feedback for us, there is a feedback section up here at the top to just send us feedback. There's a subject and a message, but feel free to put in your contact information. That way, if we need to get a hold of you, we can. But that is available to you. All right. Well, with that being the case, doesn't look like we have any questions or anything. That's all, folks. We appreciate you coming to the webinar. Once again, we have our information here. Our phone number is 435-753-4102. Option 1 for sales, option 2 for customer support. If you would like to email us, you can email us at sales@timeclick.com or support@timeclick.com. In our hours of operation, other than being off on major holidays, it's 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, Monday through Friday. I appreciate everybody coming, and yeah, you're very welcome, Melanie. I hope this was very helpful. And if y'all do have any questions, feel free to give us a call. Y'all have a wonderful day.